Welcome back to the Art and Business of Writing podcast, where we help writers write efficiently and market effectively. I'm Kayla Thomas, and I'm here with my co-host, Chris Jones. Hey, Chris, how are you doing this week?
Hey, Kayla, it's been quite the week. Making strides in moving the podcast to 2 days per week with a goal of 3 by mid-spring, planning a new ebook resource for writers and authors who subscribe to my email newsletter on the website, and I'm enjoying some unseasonably warm weather. How about you?
Still cold and snowy here. We've got sun today, but the snow is supposed to fly again tonight and tomorrow. I've been working with my cover designer this week on a new cover for my book Tackling Summer, and also for the cover for its sequel, Fighting for Fall. We're putting together a new look for a 4-book series.
Ooh, fun!
Yeah, it is pretty exciting.
Now, before we dive into today's topic, the 5 essential elements for your website homepage, let's hear from our sponsor, author Jamie Raintree. Hey writers, do you struggle to create a strong writing habit? Let me tell you about an easy-to-use spreadsheet hundreds of writers have come to depend on. With the Writing and Revision Tracker, you simply enter the amount of words you've written or pages you revise at the end of each day, and it will automatically calculate your daily, weekly, monthly, and annual total for up to 8 projects. Set monthly goals and watch the colorful graphs grow. To find out more or download your copy, visit Jamie Raintree, that's JamieRaintree.com. So we're talking about the critical elements of an author website. Last week we did an episode on hosting and domains. If you haven't listened to it yet, please go back and check it out. There's a lot to say about author websites, much of which you're going to find in the show notes, but for the sake of keeping the show digestible, we're going to roll on to some of the bigger points and leave the show notes to expand. So Kayla, let's talk about websites. When did you set up yours?
I had mine set up while I was writing my first novel. I had a free WordPress blog where I'd been puttering around for a couple of years, but once I decided I was going pro, I figured I better take advantage of the fact that my name was available as a domain name and get the site going where I had the rights to sell product and do and say whatever I wanted.
Nice. Lucky you. I unfortunately can't get my whole name as I had mentioned last week, but I set my setup a couple years ago. But last year when I wanted to rebrand, I made a lot of changes to my site to make it more user-friendly and better reflect the sort of clients that I was trying to get after, which were people looking to self-publish, people who needed editing help, book help, and coaching in the writing process. So it was a fun process of reorganizing my website to reflect a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today. So as we dive into websites, here are the 5 things for a very highly effective website. So let's dive in. Ready?
Yep, let's go for it.
All right. Number 1, have a compelling landing page. Be sure to have a great graphic header that tells people where they are and makes no mistake about it. Keep it clean and professional if you're a nonfiction writer, or limit it to just your logo, your name, or even an image of yourself if you're associating yourself with your brand. Take a look at ajjacobs.com or michaelhyatt.com to see how AJ Jacobs and Michael Hyatt incorporated their own image into their brand with their name. It's a very handsome look and something you can start to think about. So look at ways that you can use this prime real estate to create a billboard for yourself as an author.
And with fiction landing pages should be clear as to their purpose, which is to inform visitors about your books and yourself. I think it's a good idea to have your books as one of the first things visitors see along with your name and logo. I have a friend who is an indie author, Keith Kareem Williams, and he's done a really great job of this on his website. His books are front and center, and when you land on it, he has a clear menu bar where you can navigate where you want to go next, whether you want to dive deeper into knowing about the books or knowing about him. He also has an announcement section just under the books display, and that will let you know what he's coming out with next or if he's having any events or anything exciting. So we will put the link to his site down in the show notes. It's a little bit of a long one, so it'll be easier for you guys to click on down there.
Yeah, I think it's so important to make sure that your identity and your branding is very clear, direct, and easy. That way people don't really make any mistakes. They know where they are, and it looks really, really good, clean,
Definitely, and I think too that like your colors and things like that, I was just thinking about this, how it kind of reflects your genre and the feel of you and your books. It definitely sets a tone for the whole site and for your business.
And be sure to choose a font that works. I know sometimes we want to get cute and want to maybe use a scripty looking font or some other font, but really try to stay within the framework of the profession that you're in. So keeping nice, clean fonts as opposed to really playful fonts will give you the appearance, especially if you're in nonfiction, of being that professional that you want to be. So I would definitely steer away from fonts that people cannot read on a phone or a tablet as well. So think about that as you craft your header. Number 2, offer something enticing. What can you give away on your site on the landing page that will possibly convert to more books sold? Can you create a lead magnet, like a tip sheet, an ebook, a resource guide, or a writing spreadsheet, kind of like our sponsor Jamie Raintree does? Check out James Patterson's website. He offers several sample chapters of various new books that he has coming out. If you visit eofire.com, John Lee Dumas offers a free podcasting program, a free webinar program, and a free goals workshop. Learn to think of your website as a storefront and not as a brochure. People always come back to stores, but they invariably trash brochures once they lose their usefulness. And it's not a knock on you or not a knock on your website, but that's just the way it is. People want to come back. Give them a reason to come back to your website. So think about what's the one thing that you can give to visitors of your website that will keep them coming back for more. You know what I mean, Kayla?
I do. I know some authors that give away full-length books on their website to entice people to sign up for their email list. And not just like a short little ebook, but like a full-on novel. Toby Neal is a police procedural mystery writer who has a 12-book series. Right now, she's giving away a copy of the second book in the series in exchange for email addresses. And I just think that is a great, valuable giveaway to pull people in and get hooked on her writing. And I think that's definitely a good thing to do. And we will have a link to her site in our show notes as well.
Yeah, definitely. So think of what your people want. Like Kayla said, if they want full-length books, if they want sample chapters like James Patterson, if they want courses, think of ways that you can entice people to give you those email addresses so that you can stay in touch with them and keep them coming back for more. Next, capturing leads and readers with an email opt-in. So we're going to continue on that thread. If you're not currently capturing email from your website, you're letting opportunities slip through your fingers. Your offer can be what you give in exchange for that. And this is the chance for you to build a permission-based email list, which takes you out of that category of being a spammer, and it allows you to send updates and information out to that list. Something that you can use to capture emails that's really cool is AppSumo. AppSumo is this really cool WordPress plugin that creates pop-ups. So when someone gets onto your website, within 10 to 15 seconds, a box will pop up with a graphic in it, or it can be text only, but you can put whatever you want in this thing. It can say, like, get your 15 ways to be a better author guidebook by signing up right now, or whatever you want to call your offer. But it's a really cool way to get the reader to sign up because it jumps out on the page. Another thing that you can use is ClickFunnels or lead pages, and you can create an opt-in landing page that readers can interact with before viewing your website. This is a way that you can get them to take action before they actually get a chance to look at any content on your website. Jeff Goins does this with his website. He allows you to subscribe to a lead magnet that he has, and he gives you a lot of testimonials around it. But you can either choose to go into the website, or you can actually put your email list, download it, and then it takes you into the website. But either way, you have to interact with this lead page, so there's no way around it. So if that's your style, definitely run with it. There's also an app called Hello Bar. Hello Bar is really snug. It stays right at the top of the browser. It's not even, I wouldn't say it's hidden, but it's kind of handsomely tucked right above where your menu bar or your header is going to be. And what Hello Bar does is it allows you to create a custom button and title your offer in a completely different, like, offset color. A good person to check out would be Lewis Howes's website. Lewis Howes has a Hello Bar on the top of his website, and you can see how that's implemented. It's a very easy thing to drop onto your website to capture leads. And if you're looking to collect email, MailChimp is definitely the way to go. It's very easy. You don't have to pay for it for the first 2,000 subscribers. It allows you to push email out as frequently as you want to, and it doesn't cost a lot. If you want to do something like an autoresponder where people email you and you send them something automatically, that's a $10 a month program. But MailChimp is free for the average user, and you can actually drop MailChimp right on your website into an email box or any of these 4 programs that we just discussed. Do you use an email handler, Kayla?
I use MailChimp for mine.
And how do you like
And
MailChimp?
yeah, I do. I like it. It's had a little bit of a learning curve, but I've muddled my way through it, and it's actually pretty easy once you've got it figured out to drop the code into your website and have it collect those addresses for you. And I personally have the $10 a month subscription, so that way people can get a free book when they sign up for my email list, and it's definitely worth that to set up that automation program.
Yeah, and the cool thing about MailChimp is it gives you the code that you can implement into any one of these four resources that we just talked about. And when it captures the emails, it will automatically carry them over to MailChimp for you. So you don't even have to take it over there yourself. It'll pull it in there for you. So that's a big perk and a big plus.
Definitely.
So next, we're talking about having prominent social media buttons. You know, everybody wants to be connected beyond the website, and that's something you definitely want to take advantage of. Connect beyond the website, keep the conversation going. People love to see what you do outside of just your website. Your website definitely is your professional place where they can learn about you and your products and services, but they get the sneak peek on the behind the scenes when they get to catch you on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. So be sure to have very visible social media links on your website so people can connect with you. Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income, he uses very large, bold text links for his, which is fine. Definitely not the way I would go, but it works for his site because he has a very bold and heavy font styled website. So it looks really good on his website. Who do you recommend in the fiction world?
I like how Joanna Penn of the Creative Pen has her set up. They're these fun little round buttons that kind of set up to catch your attention. You know, they're a different shape than everything else on the website, and so it brings attention to her social links, and it's a quick and easy way to latch on and click over to what she's doing in other sites.
When you visit an author's site, do you try to find them socially?
I do sometimes. It depends on the author, you know. There's some people that just appeal to you and you want to have more to do with them on a daily basis. You want to see what they're doing on Facebook or Twitter. So, yeah, it depends on the author, and if I'm totally in love with them and definitely don't want to miss anything that they're doing, that little fangirl moment, that's definitely when I push the button.
Yeah, I think we all have those fan moments.
Yep. And Joanna is probably one of the people I fangirl just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And another cool way to do it, I've seen on some websites where some people have a plug-in that actually shows the number of followers. So, you know, if you've amassed a lot of followers, which is awesome in the author world because it does give social proof, and when people think, wow, you're a big deal because you've got tens of thousands of followers, then use the plugins that allow you to show the number of followers. It's always a lot of fun when people can look on your site and see how many people follow you.
Oh, wow. I'm definitely not that sophisticated.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got like, what, 10,000 followers on Instagram?
Yeah, right. Aspiring.
Yeah.
Aspiring.
Yeah, me neither. All right. So the next thing is having an engaging videos. An engaging video is a great way to link with your readers. YouTube is one of the largest search engines after Google. People consume hours a day of video, so why not use video to introduce yourself or your books or even programs that you have? People will click on videos really fast. They're easy on smartphones to render and watch. Elizabeth Gilbert, you know, from Eat, Pray, Love, and she does this very well. She has this really fun 60-second video on her website that shows you how she created the cover for her New York Times best-selling book, Big Magic. You have to go watch it. It's going to be in the show notes, but it is so much fun. I wanted to be there. And so to me, that video is a big win because it made me really excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how she did the cover? That looks like a lot of fun. Maybe I need to do a cover like that. So definitely go check out what she did with her Big Magic cover. Have you seen that, Kayla?
I haven't. I'm going to have to go watch it because I am an Elizabeth Gilbert fan.
You have to watch it because maybe, you know, for your next book, you want to do something fun like that, like show yourself riding horses or something.
Oh dear, no pressure.
Now, the other person who does a great job with video is Ty Lopez. Ty Lopez puts his top-ranked TEDx Talk video on his homepage. And his whole TEDx was really fun about how he reads a book a day. It's very engaging. But yeah, check out how he handles his video. But it's right front and center of his homepage. So you can click on it and you can kind of learn about his philosophy, because that TED Talk really speaks to his entire platform. So it's a very smart way to get to know Ty and understand how he operates. So if you're thinking about trying video, get really creative and think about whether video would be something that you could use as a great engagement and connection tool with your audience. This is the next one. The one that you don't want to forget, which is your books, naturally, right? Of course, you want your books to be front and center on your website.
That's
because
why
after
we're
all, you are
here.
an author. After all, you're an author. You want people to buy your books, so your books naturally have to show up on the front page. But there's a creative way to do that. We don't always have to do the run-of-the-mill, hey, let's show the front cover of the book. Why do it that way? Why be boring? That's my Trump voice for you.
Oh, crap, I'm boring.
Be sure that your book is on your homepage. Even if it's an older book, just keep remarketing it. But here's the deal. Okay, there's this really cool service called mycovermaker.com, and you can create 3D book covers. You can create electronic coverings that looks like the book is on a Kindle or a tablet or a smartphone. This software whips out these covers and allows you to upload them onto your website. Easy breezy, and it's a lot of fun. So it makes you look like you're one of the big boys, one of the ones that come from the big publishing houses. So you definitely want to take advantage of this because you want your aesthetic to really stand out and compete. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new, fresh author. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned author. You're always, always, always competing with the New York Times best-selling authors. Whether you like it or not, we all compete with them. So make sure that you can use every possible tool to make your book look as presentable as possible on your website. So My Cover Maker definitely is something that you'll want to try and be able to do that. Someone who uses 3D covers on his website very well is Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek had this phenomenal TED Talk. Everybody knows him. He actually just had another popular video go on YouTube, not YouTube, but on Facebook, just about the millennials. So I'm sure you're very familiar with Simon Sinek. But his covers look really cool in the middle of his website, and plus he does something really neat. He has links where you can click and you can actually have him sign the books and send them to you. So another value-added proposition to go on the website. What are your thoughts, Kayla, on putting books on the homepage?
I think definitely from the fiction standpoint, you'd want your books to be front and center when people land on your page. And I mentioned Toby Neal earlier, again, one of my fangirl moments, but she has a really beautiful, slick site. And she has a cool slider that scrolls through her books at the top of the page. And it's a nice touch for someone with a large catalog instead of being, hit in the face with, 12 or more books. It just slides through them at a nice pace and lets you look them up as they catch your attention. And she's done some of them as well to show that, in the shape of a paperback book or, as you mentioned earlier, on a tablet. So you get different views and know different formats in which you can get her work. So I think that's a nice touch if you have a large catalog.
Yeah, no, definitely. With all the tools that you've got available to you, it's very, very possible to have a website that looks really good, very cool, and very competitive with some of the bigger published authors. So just recapping what we did today. So we talked about having a compelling landing page. You definitely want your big graphic to stand out on your page, to look good and look professional. You want to be able to offer something enticing, whether that's some sort of a lead magnet or book chapters or an entire book, but have something that entices people to come back to the website or to offer their email address for. 3, making sure that you have some sort of opt-in that people can opt in to give their email address in exchange for your offer or to get on your email list in general. Next, you want to make sure you have prominent social links so that people can follow you and stick around and get the behind the scenes with your writing process and whatever it is you may be doing that's really cool outside of the website. An engaging video is something you may want to try as well. Putting a video up very similar to Elizabeth Gilbert, but with how she created her cover. Think of some ways that you can use video to engage your reader. And then lastly, finding cool ways to present your book on the cover. It doesn't have to be just a straight shot JPEG of your book from the front in a flat format, but you've got these opportunities to create 3D and put them on tablets and smartphones for presentation. So think about using these ways to really spruce up the homepage of your website and really start to compete. People are very, very aesthetic. They love looking at things. People judge books by their covers. We say that. We've said it a few times, but people will judge you by your website. So make sure that your website looks fantastic. So Kayla, I know that, you always say I'm not the most technical savvy person. So what's an option for people who look at this and say, well, this is kind of overwhelming. What should I do if I can't do this?
I definitely recommend hiring someone. I'm one of those people that says my time's better spent writing new books than futzing with my website. So I have a guy over at Good Start Blogs. His name is Robert, and I will supply a link to his website. He has started mine from the ground up, and it's nice to have someone who will build it for you, but then also set up systems with you. So if you write a new blog post or want to make little changes, you can do it on your own. Whenever I need an overhaul or a button or something made, I will have him do it, but he's also been teaching me along the way. So it's been nice to have someone walk alongside me and be a teammate for my website. So I highly recommend, even if it isn't Robert, but there are other places you can look and find someone to do freelance work for you with your website.
Excellent. So yeah, if you're not technically savvy, definitely want to reach out and try to find someone who can help you with your website. All right, so now that you've got these amazing tools, and I know that you're all excited to jump into your website, be sure to check out the show notes to look at some of the pages that we talked about within the episode. That way you can see these things in action, see how they work, and see if they're right for your website. Also, be sure to share this episode with a friend, and if you like the value we're bringing each week, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and leave us a review. This is Chris signing off. You can find me at chris@readywritelaunch.com, and I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at Chris Jones Inc. How about you, Kayla?
You can find me over at kayladonthomas.com and on Twitter at kayladonwrites.
Excellent. And we will see you guys next week.